It's not that complicated. We tend to overcomplicate everything. We mystify all spiritual teachings and stuff. It's not complicated. Meditation, for instance, is just being in the present moment. We try to make it so complicated, and part of it is that we've never really been still in the present moment. Only when we have these brief moments of ecstasy through our life experience do we get to enter in the now, where our emotions are just, it's like our emotions are just so overwhelmed that our thoughts can't creep in, and we're so engulfed in the present moment. But you can be in the present moment without having the influence of the mind or the emotions, which is the language of the body, the feelings, the language of the body, central nervous system, that's for feeling. I'm not going to go into depth on that stuff, but that's not that complicated either. None of it's complicated. We complicate it. If we can just look at things and find the functionality of it, what is the fundamental, the core principle of it? So meditation brings you into the moment. That's all you're doing. You're witnessing, you're being the silent observer of your thoughts and our emotions. And the reason for practicing this is because your life experience is the teacher. You will 10x the wisdom that you obtain in life if you can learn to be the silent observer through all your affairs. So, our thoughts, we are part of a collective consciousness. My thoughts are not my thoughts. It's a collection of conversations, books, movies, fucking reels. It's a collection of all these things that have built up an identity, a false identity, which is what I'm not even gonna go into that. How I how well, I don't really walk around with that anymore, but how most of us and how I used to represent myself to the world, how I want to be seen. And it's typically an over exaggeration of principles that I don't know, I wouldn't say that they're like super virtuous, but to typically hide the shames and shadows. So when we're watching our thoughts, one of the best practices is what I watch my breathing. I just listen to my breathing. Thoughts are going to come through. As long as that thought does not take you out of your senses and bring you into your visualization, you cannot let the thought that you didn't deliberately have bring you into a visualization. You have left the present moment. You cannot let an emotion take you out of the present moment into visualization. Having a memory that brings up an emotion and you get rocketed back to 8 years ago, whether it was good or bad. You can't let that happen. That's not meditation. People think meditation is disappearing into like the safe space. It is not that at all. It is about being here in the present moment. That is being here in the present moment is being aligned with the universe. It is you're communicating back and like the universe, there's principles the universe operates from. They're called hermetic principles. Every religion teaches about them, but they call them something different. The Tao, Yin and Yang, right? So that would be polarity. The universe has these principles as a guiding force. This is where non duality comes in because there isn't any good, there isn't any bad. Things just are. Everything has a repercussion. I'm telling you about this because if you can be the silent observer, you can witness how God uses universal powers to experience itself. All that's happening is that information's coming in through us, through our mind. Your mind is God's consciousness, is connected to the universal consciousness, connected to the world as a whole, as above in your mind, as below. And just as in the other dimensions, down into the third dimension, all the way to the first dimension. It's all the same. At so if you can just witness, see these things happening, you can now make decisions to steer your own life either towards harmony with the universe or towards chaos. This is where heaven and hell come in. Heaven is a state of mind. Hell is really a state of absence of mind, really. It's where you have disconnected. Hell is a place you go to now in your life, not in an afterlife. It might be an afterlife thing, maybe. Who no one really knows. I personally think these are fear tactics that people learn when they're young to get them on the right path. But everybody knows fear is not the way to lead. That's how tyranny happens. The leader that doesn't even seem as a leader is the one everyone follows. The leader who seems like he's part of the pack but knows where he's going, that's the one everyone follows. That's the one everyone wants to listen to. Nobody wants to. Anyways, I digress. So if you can, it's really getting control of your own life so you can have a life experience. You ever notice think about how much in nature plants and animals are struggling every day just to get that next 24. Memento mori. They are so close to death. There's murder happening. Lives are being taken so another life can move forward that next 24 hours. You're doing the same thing when you eat every day. I would strongly suggest getting close to foods that only have veins in them. Give grace. That's memento mori right there. It's not that complex. Keeping death close. It's not about sad, just depressing thoughts or keeping, losing loved ones and keeping that. It's about realizing for there to be life, for me to have life, something has to die daily. For me, my ego every day has to die. That's why I sit here and do this before I go out into the world. I won't ring that punk bitch out there anymore. Dude's a fucking clown. So, nature's in harmony, by the way. If you describe it, it sounds chaotic, but it's in harmony. So, are you in chaos or are you in harmony with the universe, with nature? Maybe try sitting down. And this is just a suggestion. This is what I do. This is what's helped me. And I'm not really here to give advice. I say this on every video. These videos are just for me if I ever get lost again. Um, but these are it's all practices, business practices, spiritual practices. They take repetition. You can't master anything immediately. We're so caught up in this instant gratification. We're used to the scrolling and stuff. And I honestly think that's psychological warfare that's happening from government, which is to control the mind. Governments all around the world are trying to exploit other citizens from different countries and stuff. But that's neither here nor there. We don't need to bother with that stuff right anymore. We'll get into that some other time. Yeah, be the silent observer. Anytime I have an emotion now, and I wish I remembered to do this a couple years ago, man. It's something I did and I just forgot about it because I stopped practicing it. Once I stopped isolating myself, I realized I was like, oh, it's not that big of a deal. It's not that big a deal. It's like, and when emotions would crop up or thoughts that I didn't intend to have, memories I didn't plan on having, I go, this doesn't have to be a thing. I think I might have gotten that from Meditations by Marcus Aurelius. Don't quote me on that, but and that immediately brings me back into the present moment. And if I'm ever struggling with being in alignment with my ideal self, staying in harmony, aligning my choice, the manifestation I want to create, because we're all in God's image, which I personally believe that we are the three-dimensional hue man, the light man. We are made in God's image. We are the visualization, not just us, all of it is the visualization in this dimension, the living proof of God. And we're part of this feedback loop, right? Just like how water, I mean, the circle of life, water evaporates, hits the clouds, goes through, like, it's all this information's being, and we're part of that through our life experience for God. And then if you follow the principles, you can manifest as long as you don't get out of alignment with these things, right? I don't remember where I was going with that, so this must be the time to stop the video. Still got to do an on the run video, so I'll see you on the next one. Love y'all. Get out there and give it. Create or conform.